Greetings on this summer day in Green Country. I'm Major Mark Harwell, Area Commander for your Salvation Army, and I'm delighted to share these moments with you. You are our most important stakeholders in the mission of the Salvation Army, and I'm pleased to share with you how the Salvation Army is responding today to meet the needs of hurting people throughout the Tulsa metropolitan area. As you know, COVID-19 has ravished our community. Beyond those who've lost loved ones with whom we grieve, those who've been personally affected by becoming ill with the virus, there are scores of others who've been impacted in very negative ways. Livelihoods have been disrupted, and part of the Salvation Army's response has focused in this area of helping families financially recover. A story was shared with me recently about a single mother with two small children living in Tulsa who looked to the Salvation Army and fortunately found the support that she needed during this time. Wanda owned and operated a child care center in her home, and she found this to be a great fit for her family, provided a good income for them, and she also took peace in knowing that her children were in a place that was safe and there was love and nurture for them. But all of that changed with COVID-19. Many of her patrons were laid off from work, became furloughed, and could no longer afford to pay Wanda for childcare, and so they withdrew their children. And overnight, Wanda's life and family and world were turned upside down, and she faced a real financial crisis. Fortunately, the Salvation Army was able to provide utility assistance that would get Wanda and her family over the first major hurdle of being able to recover. Now, stories similar to Wanda's are being shared with us every day. To date, we've assisted about 200 families, providing more than $40,000 in financial assistance. Now, some of the families that we've assisted will be able to move on with their lives without much further difficulty. But we know that others will continue to struggle even as we go into the fall and Christmas seasons. So recently, we've been sounding the alarm already this far away from Christmas that we believe we will need additional community resources in order to respond to these families during that time. There are many opportunities for folks to partner with the Salvation Army to be able to serve their neighbors who are still struggling. And you can bet the Salvation Army's Red Kettle, Bell Ringing Campaign, and Angel Tree program will be critically important to our community this Christmas. The Salvation Army also continues to serve youth. You may recall that at the beginning of the pandemic, the Salvation Army operated one of its Boys and Girls Clubs to provide child care for the children of essential workers. The Salvation Army has since opened all 5 of its Boys and Girls Clubs to provide summer programming. Many of the kids who we are serving today are the children of essential workers. So we take great encouragement in being able to serve those who are continuing to serve on the front lines of the pandemic in our community. We've been so blessed by the generosity of many in our community throughout this crisis. Most recently, the charitable arm of Cox Communications, the James M. Cox Foundation, made a very generous grant of $25,000 to the Salvation Army to help with COVID-19 relief. We've also been blessed recently with government support. Through the CARES Act, we've received $125,000, which will also go to help those who've been affected by COVID-19 meet their financial obligations. I've been very encouraged by the generosity and the dedication of our friends and donors, our partners who've stood alongside us, but more than standing alongside us, they've helped to sustain the Salvation Army's ministry during this difficult time. And without friends like you, we would not be able to be at the forefront, fully engaged in helping our community through this crisis. I've also been encouraged by God's Word during this time. And in Psalm 28, I'm reminded that the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him, and I am helped. As we march forward together, continuing to respond, continuing to meet the challenges that are before us, and meeting the needs of hurting people around us, we can be assured that God will provide for His work and that He will be our shield. May God bless and keep you.